Good afternoon. Welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here today for our 5th annual Pride Month flag raising outside of Town Hall. I'd like to introduce the dais, even though there's no place to sit. All the way to my left is 2nd Ward Councilman Howie Bauer, covering Ford's Hope Lawn and Caseby. To his right is one of the coolest officers on the Woodbridge Township Police Department. And that's not just because we went to the same college, it's because Kari Manzini is an excellent police officer, military veteran, active military right now, and an amazing police officer in the best police department in the state of New Jersey. To his right, Councilwoman at Large Elizabeth De Jesus. To her right, Sharon McAuliffe, 1st Ward Councilwoman, covering Woodbridge and Seawarren, Woodbridge proper. To her right, Debbie Meehan, 5th Ward Councilwoman, covering Colonia. To my right, the Assembly Speaker of the New Jersey State General Assembly, our 16-year Assemblyman, covering Woodbridge, Perth Amboy, South Amboy, Carteret, and Sayreville, Craig Coughlin. To his right, his partner in government, Assemblywoman, covering the same 5 towns, Yvonne Lopez. To her right, a former councilwoman and current chief of staff, Carolyn Ehrlich. And to her right, Middlesex County Commissioner, former councilman in Woodbridge Township, Charlie Kenny. So, I'll start with the best guy we have to speak. And no, sorry, Craig, it's not you. Sorry, Yvonne, it's not you. Kari Manzini, as I said, is somebody who has been an advocate for the cause since I've known him, literally since I've known him, and since he's been a police officer. Kari actually worked for the town for many years before he was a police officer in the court and as a reserve, all kinds of stuff. He was the perfect guy. He wanted to be a cop so bad, and he got his chance, and he's been a terrific police officer. Ladies and gentlemen, Kari Manzini.
Thanks so much.
Too kind. I'm going to keep this brief because I'm known to ramble. I just want to come here to reaffirm the police department's commitment to this community and the unique challenges that this community faces. I think it is a testament to the police administration and obviously the township, the mayor and town council, that they have allowed me to represent the police department as an LGBTQ liaison officer for the state of New Jersey. And I just want to let this community know that we are here for you and that we understand the unique circumstances and challenges that you face. And that is why we have implemented programming like the Woodbridge Police Department Safe Place program, which is our partnership with local community organizations and businesses to provide a safe place for the LGBTQ community to report crimes, hate crimes, and other crimes to us. And I just want to let you know that personally, me being on patrol, I'm always here for you. I always am a representative for this community and advocating for this community on patrol and outside of patrol and everything that I can possibly do. And so that's pretty much all I have to say, and I appreciate you all coming out here. I know I say this every year, but it really does keep getting better every year. Bigger crowd, bigger everything. So
let me ask you a question. Just one quick question. The schools, the kids, seeing police officers who identify the same way that they do, that's got to mean something to them. Tell me about your experiences with that.
This has been an opportunity that really has been transformative in my career, but being able to connect through the New Jersey LGBTQ liaison officers, which we have a few in the audience here, I've been able to speak to students in our community, and I think representation is very important. And when students are able to see themselves in their police department, it'll make our community safer because they will communicate and work with us, and we will be able to better serve them and the broader community. And I think we have several opportunities to do that, and I always am welcoming and engaging the public in every space that we can. I understand that there is some tension with our community, especially with young folks in our community and police departments, but the work that our organization does and the police department does to bridge that gap is it's just an immeasurable response. So it's a wonderful opportunity that I've been provided.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Kari Manzini. Next up, I'd like to call on our Assembly Speaker, Craig Coughlin, who I just introduced, and ask him to say a few words.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. By the way, let's have a round of applause for John McCormick. He didn't introduce himself, but thank you, John, for your leadership on this issue, to the Woodbridge Police Department. Thank you, and especially to Officer Manzini, who's a tremendous role model for so many of us. Thank you all for coming out today. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be with all of you as we come together to celebrate all of the progress that has been made and the joy that raising the flag brings to so many people. You know, it's only it's been 56 years since Stonewall, but the amount of progress that has been made during that time in reflecting the will of the people of New Jersey. This is a really New Jersey value. We value people who identify differently than some others who stand out and are willing to stand up for what they believe in. And so it's a great privilege to be with everybody today as we lift the flag, celebrate all we've done, talk about the things that we have accomplished. In the Assembly, I'm proud that we passed a resolution designating June as a LGBTQIA plus month, along with celebrating the small businesses and recognizing them and help raise them up. So thank you for letting me be with you. I look forward to raising the flag with everybody in just a minute. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Next up, the other woman I introduced earlier, Assemblywoman Yvonne Lopez.
First and foremost, happy Pride Month. Everybody, clap your hands, please. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, got it. I'm happy to be here, here with all of you in raising the Pride flag, which serves as a symbol of love, inclusion, and the ongoing fight for equality. The flag represents the strength and resilience of the LGBTQ plus community and our shared commitment to ensuring everyone, no matter who they are, love, or how they identify, feels seen and heard and valued. Progress is possible when we all stand together, and today and every day, let's remind ourselves that LGBTQ plus neighbors, friends, and family, and that they are not alone and they are deeply loved. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you.
Yvonne, I think you should invest in an automatic scroll. And then you can not have to worry about your hands. All right. So now I would like to ask anybody who wants to come up for a picture with the flag prior to our raising it. We're going to do that now? Oh, the PROC. I'm going to present the PROC to Kari Manzini, whereas Woodbridge Township recognizes the pursuit of human rights, equality, respect, and inclusion for all citizens, and steadfastly supports an end to all forms of prejudice and discrimination, and that no one should live in fear or endure persecution and or violence arising from sexual orientation or gender identity. And whereas LGBTQ plus individuals have an immeasurable impact on and make vital contributions to our nation and community, to include cultural, political, civic, military, and economic influences, and are committed to promoting equality, and fostering a welcoming and supportive environment for all. And whereas while society at large increasingly supports LGBTQ plus equality, it is essential to acknowledge that the need for education and awareness remains vital as the primary vehicle to end the pattern of discrimination, bias, and prejudice. And whereas the Office of the Mayor and Municipal Council for the Township of Woodbridge call upon the residents of Woodbridge Township to embrace the LGBTQ plus community and work together to foster a warm and hospitable community for all. Now therefore, I, Johnny McCormick, Mayor of the Township of Woodbridge, in concert with the Town Council, do hereby proclaim the month of June in the year 2025 to be LGBTQ plus Pride Month throughout Woodbridge Township, and do further urge all residents to celebrate diversity and inclusion, promote equality, and to acknowledge the achievements and contributions of the LGBTQ plus community. Dated June 3rd, 2025. This is being presented to Officer Manzini. Good job, pal.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'll call the council meeting in order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our military personnel that are serving us. Thank you.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on January 10th, 2025. It should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. It was also posted on the municipal bulletin board. That said, can I get a motion to approve the council meeting minutes from May 20th, 2025?
Motion.
Questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Mitch, did we do attendance?
I'm sorry, Councilman.
Did we do attendance?
Next up. I'm sorry, I was distracted because of this over here. Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bauer.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel. Councilman Small.
Here.
Councilwoman McAuliffe.
Here.
Councilman Harris.
Here.
And President Spillier.
Here.
Thank you, Councilman. Beginning with the ordinances this evening, we're going to start with second readings. We're going to take letters A and B by consent. Both are bond ordinances. The first one is a general bond ordinance in the amount of $11,420,000. The second one is a sewer utility bond ordinance in the amount of $3,030,000. With that said, can I get a motion that these two ordinances be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters A and B. A and B only.
Good evening, Tom Maris, Fords, New Jersey. And just take a minute, I want to congratulate Mr. Harris for his going on to the council and thank Mr. Becerra for his prior service. That said, going back to A and B, subjects at hand, can you explain exactly what equipment is being bought for $11,420,000 or furnishings for $3,030,000? And were all those orders placed by competitive bids? And is there a record of those bids?
Thank you. So letter A specifically, they're both capital improvements. Letter A specifically is for the 2026 road improvement paving program. Letter B is specifically for the 2026 under drain, as well as different garbage trucks, dump trucks, roll-off trucks, mason dump trunk, radio equipment. These are standard bond ordinances that we do for DPW equipment and as such.
Well, that answers part of the question, but I'm also saying, are there competitive bids issued in that? And are they available that the public may look at them to see how those bids were placed, when they were placed, and who the bidders were?
Right. Mayor?
Council President, there are no bids yet because we haven't had the authorization to go out to bid until this ordinance passes.
Okay, then that leads to the next question. Will that information be available? Will you be going out for competitive bids?
We always go out for competitive bids, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on letter A or B?
Hello, Mr. President. Ken Gardner, 101 Scoter Avenue, Woodbridge. On the bond ordinances, I had read somewhere where the town they were avoiding bond issues and paying as you go.
I don't recall seeing that here.
Is that correct?
We always have money in our capital outlay to pay as you go instead of issuing bonds.
Okay, so why are we issuing these bonds instead of paying as we go for these?
Because it's not necessarily fair to charge the taxpayers all at once for these major improvements that last 20-plus years.
How much pay as you go is the town doing, or do we have in this year's budget? Mr. President, I'm sorry.
I don't know off the top of my head, a few $1 million,
Okay.
mostly for smaller items.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions regarding letters A or B? There are no other comments or questions. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, both ordinances be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We will take letters C, D, and E by consent. These are three Approval for applications for long-term tax exemptions with authorization to execute financial agreements. The first is with Ford's 430 Residential Urban Renewal. The second was with Ford's 432 Dolce Urban Renewal. The third is with 346 Main Woodbridge Urban Renewal. With that said, can I get a motion that these three ordinances be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters C, D, and E.
Good evening. Again, Tom Maris, Fords, New Jersey. In regards to C, D, and E, the questions are basically, who are the developers on that? Are these pilot programs? And if so, or if not, if they're just tax abatements, for what period of time? And how does this serve the public interest? In other words, what are those developments going to be, and why are they?
So, ordinance number D is for, as we said, 430. That is for the residential portion of the property. The next one will be for the business use of the property. And then the third one is for the self-storage facility proposed at 346 Main Street. Mayor, you want to offer any comment, or that's about it?
No, you got it right.
Okay. And again, the term of those, it's pilot program, I'm taking it, you're saying, tax exemptions here, but I think it is a pilot program. If I'm wrong, tell me. What is the duration of that tax abatement? And who are the developers on each one of those?
For C, which is the residential, it's 30 years. Actually, all three are for 30 years in terms of the developers.
It's the owners of the property. I don't know the name of their corporate entity, but it's the company that bought the bowling alley. And it's the people who bought the Villa Borghese and Ford's. Now it's Dolce Restaurant. I don't know the name of their entity, but they're both the property owners.
But since they're applications, they will be available for public record if one submits an offer.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other comments on letters C, D, or E?
Mr. President, Ken Gardner, 101 Scotter Avenue, Woodbridge. I would just urge the council to vote against these. They're all 30-year tax breaks. The residents and many businesses are paying their full share of the taxes. And I think that the other businesses should be doing that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Letters C, D, and E.
John Watarik, Woodbridge. Letter F, the property, the Middlesex County, the New Jersey.
Sorry, we're not doing letter F, sir.
Letters C, D, and E.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was the F too. Okay. I'll be back.
Stay up there. You're up next.
C, D, or E. There are no other comments. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed? These three ordinances be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law.
Motion.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter F, taken up on second and third reading, an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain property located on Oak Tree Road for public auction. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter F.
Again, John Watarik, I'm sorry. The property, the block 43703, lot 4602, what's the property could be used for? What is it, residential, commercial? It doesn't say. I mean, how do people know that what's...
So this, I'm sorry, you done?
What's the use, what you use this property if you buy it?
This is a piece of, this is a parcel of township it's a parcel of land that the township owns right now. And it's landlocked, for lack of a better word, by 6 other property owners. So if one of the property owners wishes to purchase this property for whatever they might choose, we are authorizing it through this ordinance.
But again, is it a residential, is it a commercial, or the heavy industrial?
It could be zoned, it's zoned, whatever the property owner purchases it for, they have to fall within the zoning standards of the township.
But what's it zoned out for?
It's,
Could be several.
it's not going to have its own use. It's landlocked by 6 other properties. It's just a piece of property that's of value to one of the 6 owners. It's a very small piece. It's not buildable. It'll never be a house. It'll never be a business. Someone just wants to attach it to their backyard and use it for whatever, a horseshoe pit, a pool, who knows?
But
It's nothing that's developable.
Those properties alongside the residential?
It's behind 2 businesses and next to 4 houses
But
on
it
Oak Tree
could be
Road
used-
South, right in the middle between Middlesex Avenue and Corrigia Avenue.
So they could be used as a business or could be used as a
I just said, it can't be a residence or a business. I just said that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments on letter F?
Just following up on Mr. Tarrick's question is, has that property been appraised, and if so, at what value, and who did the appraisal on it?
So, ma'am?
The appraisal was, I don't remember who did it, but the price we put it for minimum bid at consists of the appraised value plus our cost of the appraisal.
So that is a matter of, again, of public record. You just don't know it off the top of your head.
I think it's about $12,000 a total dollar is estimated for the bid, but I don't know what company did the appraisal.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other comments or questions on letter F? Hearing no other comments or questions, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter G, an ordinance dedicating a permanent easement for property at 364 Elmore Place here on Woodbridge for the purpose of Elizabethtown Gas. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Public hearing is now open on letter G. Letter G only. Hearing no comments from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter H is a first reading ordinance. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on Friday, June 6th, with notice of public hearing to be held on Tuesday, June 24th at 2025 at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And finally, Mr. President, you have resolutions listed 1 through 16. Could I get a motion by consent to approve 1 through 16?
I'm going to abstain. No, first.
Councilman De Jesus, is that a motion to approve?
Second.
That's
Second.
okay. Second by Mr. Small, thank you.
Mr. Mitch, I need to abstain from the organization of Woodbridge Elks, Lodge 2116 for license
So
renewal.
noted.
Mr. Mitch, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anybody else?
Same thing, Mr. Mitch, the
So noted. Mr.
And down here on the left too.
Gotcha, I will let you.
Thank you. On the ups, I'll be abstaining.
Mr. Mitch, I'd like to abstain for number 16, please.
So noted.
Mr. Mitch, getting back to number 3, I'll be abstaining regarding the Avenel VFW. Please.
Any other comments or questions on the bill list? I'm sorry, on all these resolutions. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mitch. We'll now move to the public comment portion of the meeting. When approaching the microphone, please state your name and what section of the township or state you live in. You'll have a one-time opportunity to speak. All members of the audience shall adhere to the township's decorum ordinance, which is posted on the entrance door to the council chambers. The public session allows for 5 minutes. This includes remarks by the speaker and any response by the council president or administration. When there is 1 minute, I will alert the speaker to emphasize any remaining points, questions. When the 5-minute period is passed, all speakers are to leave the microphone area and return to their chairs. All videotaping must be taken in the designated area. Please make sure that no signs are posters in the aisles. The public session portion of the meeting is a comment and/or Q&A interaction between the council president and the speaker. The council president presides over the council meeting. Thank you. Mr. Maris.
With that, thank you very much, and I'll get to my questions. Maybe you'd like to jot these down, because we do know we have a time limit. My first question is, for use of public property, in other words, government-owned properties such as a public park, must a permit be obtained for the use of that park, and if so, how much and what restrictions go along with the use of that park? That's question number one. Is there a fine or penalty for using a park without government prior approval, in other words, the permit? And if so, what is that penalty? Question number three is, on Sunday, there was I'm not quite sure what to call it, but a rally, if you will, to kick off canvassing. And I want to know if a permit was obtained for that, and that happened to be at Lehman Avenue Park. And if so, who obtained that permit and when was it obtained? The other question I have is, I mentioned before we have new council member. Is Mr. Harris still employed by either Mr. Coughlin, Mr. Vitale, or any other government entity? And if so, does that create a conflict of interest with his position on this board? And is Mr. Harris related to any Woodbridge Township employee? And if so, to whom and in what position do they hold? Those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maris. So I will start with number one. It sounds like number 1, 2, and 3 are kind of all intertwined. And by all means, if legal or the mayor administration wants to jump in, please. With response to, if anybody needs to take a permit/reservation at, I believe on number 3, you said Lyman Park, the answer would be no. The only park in the township that would require reservation/permit, for lack of a better word, would be Peltzman Park, because by virtue of they have the bathrooms there. So long story short, if I want to have a graduation party for Emily at Lyman Park this Saturday, I can go there. I can bring my friends, 20, 30, and we could sit there. If you want to come with your family and have a party, you can do that. I can't tell you you can't go on that. You can't tell me I can't go on that. We share everybody's amenities. More importantly, we share the township's amenities. That's what happens with the pocket parks. The only difference would be Peltzman Park, where if you wanted to have a full-blown official, you need to apply for the permit from the rec department by virtue of the bathrooms. In terms of somebody calling to report a TO, township ordinance violation, they would go through the police department will respond and act accordingly. I can't comment on whether or not what might or might not happen, because we're talking, right now we're just in generalities. As far as Mr. Harris, Councilman Harris, I apologize, what Mr. Harris does in his off hours, there has been no conflict, and I shouldn't say it like that, in terms of who his family members are, has no bearing on this council.
And what about employment?
In terms of Mr. Harris's employment, no different from my employment. He doesn't work for the Township of Woodbridge, neither do I, neither does anybody that sits on this dais.
But he is paid by the Township of Woodbridge.
I stand corrected. We're paid by virtue of being an employee by council. In terms of whatever he does as his main job, it's not through the Township of Woodbridge.
But that's taxpayer money, and I'm just looking to see if there's a conflict. But let me add, while I still have time, can you display political signs on public land, such as the park?
A township-owned park?
Yeah.
By the ordinance, you can't display advertising signs.
Oh, but that was done on Sunday.
I'm
There
sorry.
were campaign signs out there.
I'm sorry, Mr. Maris, you have 1 minute.
Okay, I got 1 minute. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I
I
asked the
didn't hear
question. There were
campaign sign
signs
isn't an
posted.
advertisement.
Was that not a
sorry.
violation?
A campaign sign isn't an advertisement, Tom, you know.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm trying to turn my microphone on. A campaign sign isn't an advertisement, you know that.
Gee, the regulations governing it.
You know, but that pesky
You're the law
First
director, I'm
Amendment,
sure you
Tom, that pesky First Amendment. You see, the town square and parks have historically been the centers of political discussion and otherwise. It's something we generally cherish in this nation, something we ought to revere and admire, not try to criticize. I invited, you were there, I invited you to stay, you and Mr. Lund. I even asked you if you wanted to join in. You had an opportunity.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Thank
It's
you,
the
Mr.
public
Maris.
center.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Are there any other comments or questions from the public this evening?
Ken Gardner, 101 Scoter Avenue, Woodbridge. Mr. President, First, I would like to thank the police director and the police department for the pre-planning they did for the unfortunate event that took place with the youth at Woodbridge Center. From all reports, they did the best job they could dealing with the mess that was there. Let's hope it doesn't happen again, but thank you very much for being on top of it and not having to react, but looking at previous incidents and acting properly. Thank you. Second, Councilwoman McAuliffe abstained on the bill list, I believe. If she could explain why?
16.
My clock is ticking here.
Yeah. Can I answer the question?
She abstained from the bill list.
Yeah, I did a function for the town through my personal business, and I abstained from the bill list.
So the township bought bagels from Not Just Bagels, is that what you're saying?
I don't think she said, Mr. Gardner, I believe she said the township purchased bagels, locks, or whatever. The township purchased something from a vendor, a business, just like the township does quite often, and Councilwoman McAuliffe is recusing herself because she's tied into that business. No different from any other person that would be tied into an entity that would recuse himself for the bill list.
I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think she should be doing business with the township. There's other businesses.
Okay.
She's a councilwoman. I believe it's a conflict.
Okay.
For over 20 years.
In Sojourn, there is, obviously, we have a nautical. We have the water there. We have we have some storage tanks going down Ferry Street. We've got a pump station on the corner. We've got another pump station near the entrance to Alvin Williams Park. And we also have the PSE&G plant. I'd like to suggest that to make the area a little more pretty and a little more nautical, that for the pump stations we own, and I know that we need to have them identified as such, but maybe they could be painted to have some type of nautical theme, and maybe we could contact the businesses along Ferry Street as well as PSE&G to ask them to do the same. Might fit in well. I think it would make the area and be a little bit more beautiful, if that's the right word. Thank you for your time.
Are there any other comments or questions from the public this evening?
Evening. Paul Lund, Hope Lawn.
Evening.
I just want to have clarity on this. So if we want to have a partisan political rally at Bruce Turcotte Park in my neighborhood, Hope Lawn, for Bill Spadia or Jack Chitterelli, there would be no problems, and we wouldn't need a permit, because to my knowledge, there's no bathrooms on the premises. True?
That's not what I said. I said the reason why there's no, why you would get a permit at Peltzman Park is because they have bathrooms on site. Why a permit isn't needed at the pocket parks or the other parks? The question was, do you need a permit? And I answered the question, no.
So I wouldn't need a permit to have a rally in Bruce Turcotte Park?
You would not need a permit to assemble just like any other God-given citizen of this township.
Wonderful. My other concern, living in Hope Lawn, I went to that Lyman Avenue Park. I noticed a condition on the streets different than in Hope Lawn where I live. Most of the cars were off the street, except for those attending this rally, and in their driveways. Now, I brought this up before. In Hope Lawn, there's an incredible number. On any given day, you might have cars lined up all the way from Pennsylvania Avenue to Florida Grove Road. It makes visibility going out onto Pennsylvania Avenue or Florida Grove Road very difficult. Thank God there's not been more accidents. My concern is maybe being a little proactive about it. Can we do a traffic survey? Can we do anything to preemptively prevent what seems to me inevitable, given those conditions? My other question is, I asked around some of my neighbors, and they seem to think that the reason people aren't using the driveways is that a lot of these homes are now being rented out, and maybe the homeowner is stipulating, we don't want you to use the driveway. Or maybe there's a lot of homes with way extended families, and they got 3 or 4 cars per household. Either way, I see it as a potential danger living in that neighborhood. And certainly, it narrows the streets. It could present the problem if a school ever gets built near Bruce Turcotte Park, and they have all that bus traffic in one way with cars on either side. that could become problematic. Kids darting out from behind the cars in front of a bus. So I'll leave it there. It is a concern. What can we do about it?
So in terms of your last point, if somebody rents out their house, the rental property would need to be registered with the township so the Housing Bureau can go out and do its due diligence, do its annual inspection. In terms of parking in the driveway, nobody can force anybody to park in their driveway,
Understood.
unfortunately.
But if it
If you do, I'm
presents...
sorry, if you do see somebody parked illegally within the, whether it's
Within
the
10.
stop, intersection, whatever, like 50, 25 feet, by all means, I encourage all residents to contact the non-emergency number, and we definitely get radio patrol and/or traffic enforcement out there for enforcement.
Gotcha. You can't regulate that, but can maybe an incentive be created for cars to get off the road? I mean, there's got to be something from a traffic safety point of view where you can't narrow the road with a car on either side where you know, that presents a bit of a congestion problem at the very least.
I
And it's a
understand.
quality of life issue.
I understand that. If you have, I know you said 2 roads, if you have a more exact area, by all means, I'll give it to Police Director Niski, and we can give it to Traffic Enforcement and PD to investigate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
Again, John Gotthard, Woodbridge. For many years, I did have a lot of parties at the park, mostly Warden Park. It was owned by county, we know that. We always had to get a permits to do that. And the reason is, if you are planning the party or any kind of political party or anything else, Mr. President, what you said, you can go to any park. How about if you plan to have an event or anything, political, whatever it is somebody there already, what do you do then? If you don't, anybody can go before you out, right?
I heard you say, Mr. President, meaning me, you said this. I didn't hear the part after that.
I said, if you are planning a party or any kind of event, political or anything else, and you have no permit to be there, what happens if somebody's there before you? It's a public park. That means anybody can go there. They come earlier, they take it, you out, right? I think there should be, if you don't have it, there should be a permit for any of those parks, for any events.
There is no first come, first serve on a township park, unless you have a permit at Peltzman Park. If you're there and having a good party and I'm there, you can't tell me and I can't tell you. We have to share the park. There's no, I'm here first, plain and simple.
But that's what I just said. You first, so I'm out.
No. There is no you first. I'm there, you're there, we're there together. We can go on the swings, the Dumbo set, whatever we want, together. I can't tell you no, you can't tell me no. Doesn't matter who's there first.
Now you're going to have something what you got at Woodbridge Center. Another thing is, we just got it not long ago, political signs that should not be displayed on a public property so many days before the election. And I understand I wasn't there myself, but there was definitely a political event. And I'm real surprised to have it on a Lyman Avenue, which is what we call the Murphy's Park. You remember Jim was named after. And I think that was kind of I don't know, I would say unprofessional done. And again, cops, with all those things, events that you pay for it, the taxpayers pay for it. And we just not charged to the candidate, is it?
Real quick, as I mentioned earlier, the township had nothing to do with any, except for the Farella, the Councilwoman De Jesus, I apologize, I say it wrong. Instead of the Spanish Festival held, the township had no affiliation, ran no events for any park over the weekend. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you. Last meeting, Mayor was talking about that we are renting the properties, parking lots on James Street, which happen to be Widow Mazda development. My number one question would be how many spaces is good try to rent? Number two, I believe year and a half ago, when he went for the zoning, and he went there and he was short of parking spaces. And I understand Mayor said that he was going to be buying extra parking spaces that time. So this was how he got the permits to build those apartments. What are going to be? My question would be, how many parking spaces are we renting and how much we're charging for them? Is it better to rent them than buy them, probably? My question is he still buying them and renting them, or is he just going to rent them? That's my number one question. Second thing would be talking about the C1, not C1, KSB parking. park. For years, I understand that park is finished, and Mayor says that we're waiting for the EPA approval.
DEP.
My question is, did we get a approval, so first and second, environmental testing at the property before we build it?
1 minute, sir. As we explained to you, I think 2 meetings ago, it's in the DEP's hands. We cannot do anything until the DEP gives us the clearance.
Environmental, you know?
In terms of the case report.
Council President, first of all, there's 8 spots at $30,000 a spot. We can't sell spots. We can't sell part of a parking lot. We lease them. He basically answered his own question. There's 8 spots at $30,000 a spot, and they're leased. As far as the park, it is not our park. You keep saying you're building. We're not building it. It's being done through the owners of the park as part of the settlement for the cleanup. And as I said, we have no control over when it's going to be approved. We have no idea. I said at the beginning of the year, probably don't count on it this year.
My question, what, did you get a phase 1 or phase 2 approval before you build it?
We didn't build it. And of course they got approval. Why would you think anybody could just build a park on the most contaminated piece of land in the township without approval? I can't believe that question. Of course they got approval.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patark.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, all. John Kozlowskis III, Woodbridge proper. Just real quick, just want to touch on Main Street a little bit. It's a big part of my commute, so I do have to go through it every day. My question would be, is there anything as far as patrolling it for things like, let's say, double parking or people whizzing in and out of traffic on scooters? Big reason I ask is because the other day somebody was on a scooter, and this is a grown man who probably should have known better, but he was whizzing in and out of traffic and almost hit my car. Car insurance is quite high right now. That's another story, not for this forum, but you know that would have probably raised it. So that's a reckless thing right there. The double parking, I'm a little surprised with. I haven't seen that in this area since some of the newer businesses come in. The fruit place, that Perla coffee place, good coffee. But people double park there, and then the steakhouse is a really bad offender. And they got a big, beautiful parking lot in the back. I mean, you were just talking about that. So I'm just a little confused as to why the double parking's happening, and maybe we can get some patrolling there, because it really does slow down Main Street, and we're seeing an increased number of traffic because of a lot of the new buildings. Tied into that is my last question. That section down there, the old garage, we had some apartments down there, some houses. That's all cleared out now on the other side of the train tracks. I'm told there's an apartment building going up there. Have any traffic studies been done on the impact of that? Because you know people are going to be having vehicles there. And what would those impacts be? Because right now it's already pretty backed up along with the double parking. Thank you.
Thank you. So regarding number 1, the parking, I know we've sent out over the last several months, PD as well as auxiliary, if you want to comment.
We also have a walking patrol, but I'll let Director Niski answer.
We have been and continue to enforce double parking and other violations along Main Street. So I think we've done a good job. I think we're going to continue doing a good job. As far as the e-bikes, you know, that's not only a problem for us, it's a problem statewide, and we're hoping that the legislature can catch up with what's going on and help us do some more enforcement regarding that issue.
Real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I appreciate that. Regarding legislation of patrolling Main Street, are there certain hours, or is this around the clock? Because it seems to be happening at night a lot.
Right. Well, we have, you know, the one-end cars, that's a special check for them when they're in between answering calls for service. But we've also brought in our auxiliary and special police to do just that, to enforce parking on Main Street, both in a vehicle and, like the business administrator said, on foot. But, you know, we write a lot of summons. I mean, we can go out there and write summonses all day and night. I mean, you see it, so I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Okay, thanks. Just in regarding the apartments, has a study been done regarding the impact of the traffic?
So all, Mayor,
Which apartments are you referring to?
right along, what street is that? Is that Fulton Street?
Fulton Street.
Yeah, Fulton Street, right there. That whole area's been cleared, and I was told there's going to be apartments there.
Yes,
Okay,
there's a restaurant in front and then apartments behind it and above it.
lovely.
If they came before the board, if the board asked for a traffic study, they would have provided one. It's public record if there is one. I don't know offhand if there was.
Okay, how many spots are going to be there?
Parking spots?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, that's
That's all laid out in
The
the plan.
request I can get, right.
You're welcome to get a copy of the plan. You can see the whole layout. You can see where the parking is. Most of it's underneath.
right, like the one across the street here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Council President,
Councilman.
if I may, I just want to add on to that point. There was a report that went out in public, we actually talked about it as a group, but Woodbridge, by far, they did an evaluation of more than one county, but they were looking at Central Jersey. Woodbridge Police Department by far issued more traffic tickets than any of the surrounding counties. So our department's out there doing their job when it comes to traffic in Woodbridge Township.
Thank you. Just for a matter of clarity, real quick, when the police director said legislation, he was referring to the e-bikes and the scooters. We've talked about this on several occasions with the way the state law is. Good, wrong, or indifferent, scooters and e-bikes can basically operate themselves, and all you really can do is write a helmet ticket. So that's what he was referring to, as hopefully legislation could pass where our PD isn't as hampered as they are now. Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, can I get a motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
Motion.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it. Go into the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Now move to the agenda portion. Starting myself, my agenda is in order. Moving off to Council Vice President McCall.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have a few comments tonight. First, I'd like to talk about Relay for Life. This Saturday, the 7th of June, Relay for Life will be having their annual event at the Woodbridge High School. The ceremonies start at 3:30 in the afternoon with the opening ceremonies and the medals for the survivors. And then at 8:30, there will be the luminary service. There are many other events throughout the day. Please go on to their Facebook, Relay 07095, and they'll have the whole schedule of all the different events that are going to be out there for Relay for Life. Also, on Thursday, the senior free movie will be happening in room 214 at the community center. This is a great opportunity for seniors to get out there and watch a free movie, and because sometimes it's very difficult for them to get to the movie theater. Also, on Thursday, June 12th, the Acacia Youth Center will have their kickoff to the summer barbecue. This is located at 95 Port Reading Avenue in Woodbridge from 3:30 to 6:30. All middle school students who are currently registered are able to come. Elementary students must be accompanied by a parent. For information, you can go on to the Community Pass to register for this event. And also on June 15th, which is Father's Day, which is coming up, at the community center, there is a free mini golf for all dads who come with their family, paid by a child or something. It's a free admission for them for Father's Day. And lastly, I'd like to wish all of the dads out there a very happy Father's Day and enjoy time with your family. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Vice President McCall. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I have a few announcements. One, the Juneteenth event is scheduled for June 14th. It's going to be moved to a Juneteenth concert, and it's going to be that evening at 7 p.m. And that will be Epic Soul will be performing. It begins at 7 p.m. at the Woodbridge Concert Ground. So we'll be putting out some announcements to the community, but it's a Saturday night concert, so hope people can come out and celebrate the holiday. The Hall of Fame is preparing to receive their final ballots. So if you have a ballot, you need to get it into the Hall of Fame committee by June 11th. That is our meeting where we will be reviewing all applications. You can reach out to the Recreation Department, and they will direct you on where you can hand in your ballot for the Hall of Fame. I do want to congratulate Woodbridge on a successful season this year. They just lost in the state semifinals 8-4 to Westfield. So I want to congratulate all the seniors there. Colonia right now is in a battle, a 0-0 eighth inning. And so we hopefully they can pull theirs out. And I want to congratulate Corey Pascarella. He's a senior there. Corey's a great kid. I had the pleasure of coaching him. He threw a no-hitter, a complete game no-hitter last week, and he struck out 16 batters in a 5-0 state playoff game. And I'm sure they probably got him on the hill tonight. That's probably why they're in a dogfight the way they are. But Corey's a great kid, headed to Monmouth University, and let's go Patriots. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Harrison. Councilman Bauer.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I have a few announcements. Middle school students are invited to an end of the year pool party. It'll be held on Monday, June 9th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Highland Grove Pool and Spray Park, which is located at 70 Highland Terrace in Fords. Space is limited. Must register on Community Pass to attend. A Genesis login or school ID required. One pool party per student. Students will be given a swim test prior to being allowed to into the deep end of the pool, and busing will not be provided. So you can contact, also for more information, contact 732-726-6290. And unfortunately, Mr. Lund left. I'm the councilman for the second ward of Oakland, where Mr. Lund resides. Over the years, the administration, PD, has always helped us with any of our complaints. There's no reason to wait for our council meeting. If you have a complaint, you can reach out to it. Over the years, we took care of illegal parking in Oakland, home-based repair shop of vehicles, unlicensed rentals, Airbnbs, which are against our township ordinances. So if you have a problem, there's no need to wait for a council meeting. Let's reach out to anybody on this dais. We can locate our numbers on the township website, and we investigate all complaints. So any complaints, just reach out to us. That's all I have. Thank you, Council President.
Council President?
Thank you, Councilman
Council
Bauer.
President?
Thank you for keeping me informed. Councilman Anderson.
There was one announcement that I missed, and I just wanted to pass on some sad news. We had a dentist in our area, in the Woodbridge area on Broadway, who passed away unexpectedly, Dr. Edgar Al, who actually was my dentist for over 20 years. And he was very well thought of, one of the few bilingual dentists in our area. His staff right now is devastated, and as are many of his patients. So I just ask that you all keep him in mind. He served Woodbridge Township for many, many years, but he was an unexpected loss. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Okay. Thank you. Councilwoman DeJesus.
My agenda is in order. I just have a few library announcements. The Woodbridge Libraries will host free English as a second language, ESL, and citizenship classes. Morning and evening classes will start the week of July 7th. They will be once a week. You can contact Catherine Stuff or to register at 908-486-177, extension 403. Learn the basics of a plant-based diet from New Jersey Veg on Tuesday, June 10th at 7 p.m. Register at woodbridgelibrary.org. And downsizing and decluttering, easy to follow tips, which will be held on Wednesday, June 11th at 1 p.m. at the main library. The United Way will run financial literacy workshops at the main library on Tuesday, June 17th, 7 p.m. in English, and Thursday, June 26th in Spanish. I just want to wish all the college graduates from our township a huge congratulations to them on achieving such a milestone, and to their families. And that's all that I have this day.
And to your daughter.
Yes.
And to your daughter.
Yes.
And Kyle's daughter too, yes.
Thank you, Councilwoman DeJesus. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I know it's a little early, but I just want to get the date out there for our breast cancer walk this year. It'll be October 11th. It's a pretty big event, so I'd like to get the date out. It's going to be for 2 moms from Colonia that battle breast cancer. So I'll have more details come in the next meeting. And I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out to support our troops for the troop rally. It really was a beautiful event, even though we had to bring them inside. Thank you, Mr. Haggerty. I know you worked very, very hard on that to make it beautiful. And thank you to the Township Police Department and everybody that helped. It was really nice to come out, show our veterans at the township cares about them and is thinking about the ones that are overseas. So, and happy Father's Day to all of our dads out there. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Councilwoman Meehan. Councilman Patel is excused. Councilman Harris.
Thank you, President Spillick. Two updates. First of all, I'm out of sorts here. It's my first time. Thank you, Mr. Mitch, for putting together my agenda. I'm not only taking Mr. Picara's seat, but I'm also taking many aspects of this agenda. And I want to highlight one senior item and one youth item. First one up being a youth item. Reminder to parents out there, those watching, Township Recreation Department partners with the school district putting together summer enrichment programs. There's over 40 courses that are offered on 2 special weeks in the summer, one in July, one in August. Courses range between $125 and $150 for the week, and they cover the spectrum of different courses from STEM subjects to arts to performing arts, humanities, things of that nature. Fun, of course, keep our students their brains working in the summer. You can learn more about that on the Township's recreation site, specifically under youth services, where you could also sign up for those courses. And secondly, for those seniors out there, you should have already received your blue booklet, which is the combined application for Stay NJ, Senior Freeze, and Anchor. That application deadline is at the end of October, so make sure you apply. You can apply 2 ways, via the paper application that you should have received, or online at Property Tax Relief, app.nj.gov, or if you haven't received that blue booklet or misplaced it, whatever the case may be, you can call Woodbridge Senior Services at 732-726-6262. Thank you very much, President.
Thank you, Councilman Harris. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to note tonight 1B, just to let you know that you'll be taking action on that at the next meeting. That's a new business coming into force on Lafayette Road. It'll have a liquor license. Letter C, I was hoping to have for you tonight. We're still working with the police department trying to get the debtor in possession removed on Red Lobster since they reorganized. I'm going to drop down to elections. Just a reminder, early voting started today. It'll be from today until Sunday at the Acacia Center. So June 3rd through June 8th, Monday through Saturdays 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Located at 95 Port Reading Avenue, Woodbridge, and also, because I know you've asked us in the past, during construction at Avenel Street School 4 and 5, voting access will continue at door 3 on South and Mid Avenue side. That's all I have.
Thank you for the reminder, refresher, Mr. Mitch. We will now move to administration. Mayor?
No, thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Business Administrator Similuka.
Thank you, Council President. I'll also be covering Director Brew's agenda for this evening. I have a tax and sewer overpayment. I have a 100% disabled veteran. Under Mr. Brew's Public Works and Engineering, I have a change order number 1 for and final for the Magnolia improvements on contract 2023-014. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Similuka. Please, Director Niski.
Thank you, Council President. I have a few items on my agenda. We're adding handicap parking spaces on Holly Street, Grove Street, and Oakland Avenue. We're deleting a handicap parking space on Lee Street, and we're adding stop signs on Bennett Street and Schmidt Place. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you, Director Niski. Planning and Development, Director Turner.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Legal.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
All in favor? Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.